What's good, everyone? I'm Isha Jindru Ozinyati, your resident fanatic of all things real estate, both in your home and out your home. And today we're having a little bit of an update to a video I did a few weeks back talking about and ranking all 16 types of sofas you can find in your home. After a little bit of contemplating on those two videos I did, which you should go to and you can find here and here, link in the top right corner, somewhere there, I believe. I realized that there was something that needed to be added to all this, because after ranking and reviewing all 16 types of sofas out there, I realized you can always find the same type of sofa having an incredibly gorgeous version and having a not so aesthetically attractive version. So that made me wonder, what is the key difference between having a good looking couch and a not so good looking couch? And after tons of countless hours scouring the internet, reading books, manuals, everything, I pretty much realized the answer is upholstery. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So subscribe for real, like this video, share this video, and as always, let's get into it. For most of you out there, I can only imagine that upholstery is as foreign a term as is a haberdashery, which is...
A haberdashery is a men's retail shop that sells men's accessories such as wallets, hats, buttons, belts, ribbons, and zippers.
A blast from the past from everyone who was born in my era. iCarly was the one. But anyway, upholstery is the active practice of upholstering, which is the covering of usually any type of furniture in any type of materials, that is your foams, your fabrics, your leathers, as well as anything that goes on underneath the surface to make your furniture experience a little bit more lavish. Think about adding anything to the frame, which could also include unseen materials such as springs. Aside from the actual modeling and framing of the furniture you have in your home right now, upholstery is the large factor of your furniture, which contributes to making your furniture as comfortable as it is and as stylish as it is. And in some rare instances, you can actually manage to get both comfort and style to a high degree, in some cases, not all. Public service announcement before I go on. This isn't going to be an in-depth analysis of all things upholstery, the history, the types of upholstery there are out there. This is just some surface level things, and I'll leave the more in-detail description to when I actually decide to start on my carpentry, as well as possibly starting a carpentry channel later on down the line, maybe next year or the year after. It's coming, be patient. For now, I'll graciously give you a little nitbit of information in this video right here. So be sure to remember to subscribe and like the video and share it and comment for your boy. Let's continue. For this video, in order to relate to my ranking of all the sofas I did in my previous videos, I'm just going to be focusing on the style aspect of upholstering. Later on, if you're interested and I'm interested, I'll come back and conclude this mini micro series with the discussion on the comfort side of upholstery, which is pretty much anything under the surface level of what you see in most of your seating furniture. But for today, let's just judge the book by its cover and talk about surface level upholstering. In most cases, your seating furniture is going to be upholstered in one of four materials, which includes general fabric, microfibers, faux leather, and actual leather. Let's go into the details. As I mentioned before, we're mainly going to be looking at the surface level of upholstering, which means the materials we're going to be talking about are largely only going to affect the style, the maintenance, and the durability of your furniture. When I'm talking about style, I'm referring to the range of customization and how diverse an offering of the material we're going to be talking about. When it comes to maintenance, it's mostly about how difficult it is to keep what it looks like brand new to what it looks like 5 years down the line, 3 months down the line, any period of time after it's opened. How is it going to look after that? And how much work do you need to put in to keep it looking the way it is now? And finally, durability. When all is said and done, how long is this couch most likely going to last you on an average range? If you're doing everything right with a little bit of things wrong, what can you reasonably expect this material to give you in the long run? So I hope you keep that in mind when I talk about the actual materials. Let's begin that list off with talking about fabric. And I won't lie, as I mentioned before, this is pretty much me walking in new waters. I don't have the utmost information on everything I'm going to talk about now, but I do have enough to feel confident talking about it. We're not talking about fabric. Fabric is probably the most blanket term I can give to any sort of material that isn't the rest of the materials we're going to be talking about here. Pretty much, if you can imagine ever being on any sort of furniture that is covered in that textile woven feeling material, that's what I'm going to be referring to as fabric. Because in all honesty, the range of fabrics you can get to cover your furniture is as diverse and wide as the ocean itself. Fabric is the most customizable and diverse material you can get out there. We're not talking about colors, patterns, shades, and designs. When it comes to fabric, the only limitation you really have is what you can imagine. But countering this, the durability and maintenance that's needed to uphold this level of design in most fabrics is on a huge spectrum. We're not talking about the type of quality of fabric you're using, and in most cases, furniture fabrics are not typically the most durable and quality out there. And if you're looking for the more higher end version of fabrics, you'd probably just decide to opt in for one of the other three materials we're talking about here. If you want the most control in how your furniture is going to actually look like relating to the entire aura of your room, fabric is the way to go. If you're more focused on having something that's more durable and everlasting and aren't too focused on patterns, shades, and colors, you might want to consider the other three materials we'll be talking about now. While, to be completely honest, you might want to consider the last two materials we'll be talking about, because the next material we're talking about is pretty much just an upgraded version of fabric, and that is microfiber. And honestly, the difference between fabric and microfiber is as distinguishable as talking about last year's version of the iPhone to this year's version of the iPhone. Yes, it's a little bit more durable, supposedly, but it does come in less colors, and it also does have that magnetic new feature to it. Though for microfiber, that magnetic new feature only works to attracting your pet's fur. To be completely honest, unless you're advertising it, or you're selling it, or you're just some aficionado of fabric and microfiber, when you buy furniture, you're probably not going to be able to distinguish any difference from the two, so just pick what you want. After microfiber, we're probably going to be talking about the most notorious material out there, which can typically undeniably be crowned the king of material. Let's talk about leather. And just to confirm my statement on leather being the king of materials, just think about every advertising ploy out there whenever they want to make anything seem more pristine than it actually is, or make you feel like extra effort was put into the materials of whatever furniture, product, or seating that we're talking about. It always has to be made out of being made of genuine leather. The only cost being the fact that if you've seen and felt one leather, you've seen and felt 99.9% of all the leathers out there. Leather as a material is as distinct as it comes. You either like it or you don't, and you know it when you see it. I personally love leather, and I'm just the big fish any leather manufacturing company is fishing for when it comes to moving their goods. But honestly, look at it, leather is amazing. And probably I'm not the minority out there, and most people love leather, which could be linked with the fact as to why synthetic leather, aka faux leather, became a thing, which is exactly the last and final material we're going to be talking about. And what faux leather is to leather is typically, generally, what microfiber is to fabric. Though, to be fair, most people are probably more concerned between the difference between faux leather and actual leather than anyone is about microfiber to fabric. Though if we're talking about just the nitty-gritty details, it's not as far-fetched as most people would want you to think. Faux leather, because it's pretty much synthetic, does have the advantage of being able to come in a lot more shades of colors and slightly more patterns than actual leather, though it's not exactly going to be able to offer the wide range of colors and patterns as you'd get from something like fabric or even microfiber. You just do get that extra oomph of choice when you're dealing with faux leather. but this does come at the cost of durability, and ultimately, no matter what you do, faux leather, though it may be more durable than fabric and microfiber to a degree, not likely, it will ultimately start to crack up and degrade irregardless of what you do there. So to wrap it all up, if we're talking about a durability and maintenance spectrum, the list would have to go leather, number 1, the most durable, 2, potentially faux leather, though it is debatable if we're comparing it to what I would put next, microfiber, and finally fabric. And if we're ranking the list according to style, specifically the amount of diversity and ability to customize what you're getting, because if this list was just on what I perceive to be the most stylistic, leather would be up there too. But if we're talking about being able to have a wide range of offerings and diversity to what you can pick, the list goes fabric first, microfiber, faux leather, and then leather. But at the end of the day, it just comes to what you want and what best relates to your room. And if you want to learn more about just styling your room right and the amount of styles out there and a style you could potentially implement in your house, I recently did a video talking about 3 styles of interior design, which you can find here. Go check it out. I'm going to be adding to that series as well. But for now, I've been your host, Ishe Jindu or Zinyati. Subscribe for real. Like this video, share this video. ishejindu@ivafrica.com for any business inquiries. As well, check out my website, ivafrica.com, to just keep up to date with everything I'm doing. Until next time, peace.